Welcome to Inside Town Finances. Inside Town Finances is a select board initiative designed to educate and inform the community about various topics related to municipal finance. Each volume of Inside Town Finances focuses on a specific topic. More detailed information about each topic can be found on the town website.
This is Volume 1, Revenue. In Volume 1, we will discuss Hingham's sources of revenue and how our largest source of revenue, the tax levy, is calculated. Hingham collects just over $100 million to fund town services. As the graph indicates, 75% of the town's revenue comes from the tax levy through the collection of residential and commercial property taxes. 89% of all property tax revenue comes from residential property taxes, with 11% coming from commercial property taxes. Hingham has one tax rate for both residential and commercial properties. State aid accounts for 10% of revenue. Also called local aid, it is money that comes from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts from its revenue collections. Local aid amounts are set aside as part of the state budget process. Local receipts also account for 10% of town revenue. Local receipts include motor vehicle excise tax, meals tax revenue, and ambulance revenue. Volume 2 of this series provides more detail about local receipts. Excluded debt represents 3% of total revenue. This is a voter-authorized temporary tax increase. We typically use this for large capital projects. Nearly all of Hingham's outstanding excluded debt is for school projects, and they will be discussed in Volume 3 of this series in greater detail. Lastly, about 2% of our revenue comes from other sources, such as payment in lieu of taxes, or one-time funding such as grant funding or federal reimbursements. Now let's take a look at how the tax levy is calculated. And to do that, we'll use fiscal year 20 and fiscal year 21 data for the town. In the example on your screen, the total fiscal year 20 tax levy is $82,754,141. That's the number in red in the second column. This is the starting point for calculating the next year or the fiscal year 21 tax levy. Under Massachusetts Proposition 2.5, the levy limit is increased in 3 ways. First, each year municipalities can increase the levy by up to 2.5% as of right. For fiscal year 21, that amount is $2,068,854 in new revenue. The levy can also be increased by the value of new construction and newly taxable parcels of land. This is what's referred to as new growth. And for fiscal year 21, that's estimated to be about $1.3 million. The third way the levy limit can be increased is through an override, which is a permanent tax increase. And once approved, an override becomes part of the base for calculation for future years. An override requires a majority vote of town meeting and a majority ballot vote. For fiscal year 21, there is no override. Once the tax levy is calculated, the elected Board of Assessors sets the tax rate, which is the basis for apportioning this entire tax levy to specific parcels of land and which results in the property tax bills we receive. We'll discuss this concept in more detail in a future volume of this series. So this concludes Volume 1. Thank you for listening.